Hi again, everybody. Despite my formal dress with a suit jacket, a shirt and a black skirt, I'm actually sitting here in my comfortable lounge chair doing this series of videos as reflections on 2025. I'm Elise Lonsdale from DATA Australasia, and by the way, Merry Christmas.
Wishing you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from everyone at DATA Australasia.
Thanks, Kylie, for that wonderful introduction. Yes, this is another one of my reflective videos, and I'm going to reflect on the symbiotic relationship I have with the Statewide Vision Resource Centre. Now, I was fortunate back in 2019, actually, the year of COVID coming out, but it didn't really affect anyone until 2020. I left my job at Vision Australia. In actual fact, my contract was not renewed. Their loss. Because I went straight away and I formed DATA Australasia, and a couple of months after that, the Blindness and Beyond Referral Network, which has since referred many people to many access technologists, orientation and mobility specialists, support workers, and even orthoptists. And I think even a couple of occupational therapists thrown in for good measure. And I think that's a privilege that myself, Mark, Adam and a few others, Debbie, opted to do that. We actually started it around a dining room table at my friend Debbie's house back in 2019. And we've met some wonderful people through that network. It would be my wish to see that incorporate someday. However, it started off the independent movement. And there are other people out there. I think Bronwyn Scott was probably one of the first independent orientation and mobility instructors. And this has happened because the larger organisations have, sadly to their detriment, I think in many cases, let a lot of good people go for one reason or another. And we all have to have a livelihood. And back in those days, the NDIS was really cool. So it was very, very, very weighted towards people who wanted to build small businesses. Sadly, it isn't. And I'll do another talk about the NDIS in another subsequent reflective video. So back then it was really cool and people would go out there and build a business on it, and yeah, it was cool. And I hope you're enjoying the subtle lights of the Christmas tree next to me. Anyway, so back to Statewide Vision Resource Centre. That very same year, I was running to be the Vice President of the Apple Users Society of Melbourne, having been a member of that organisation for about 12 months. So it was pretty good that they accepted me onto their committee right away. And in doing so, back then Kelly was helping me do presentations in the special interest groups, and I got invited to speak at the main meeting. I'd already been to speak to the retirees and other SIG, and there was a lady there called Marion who is the wife of a former president of the Apple Users Society of Melbourne. But she also works for Statewide Vision Resource Centre. About a month later, I was contacted on my contact form, which is still available on my website. And this user had contacted me ticking all the boxes. Tick, 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 tick. There's boxes there. Do you want JAWS training, NVDA training, Apple VoiceOver training, Zoom text? And this email had came in and I thought, I wonder if it's spam because they've ticked all the boxes. But then it said in the area that I've got where people can freely write, hi, my name is so-and-so and I'm from this organisation. And Marion had said to me that she'd seen me present at the Apple Users Society. So, and she left obviously a phone number when she filled in the form. So I rang up. Now I was hired as a temp around about the Queen's birthday, as it was back then, weekend in 2019. And that was 6.5 years ago. Wow. Because I got hired through various contracts. To cut a long story short, I was interviewed for a position after I'd been there as a temp. And after you've been there for 2 years as a temporary situation, partway through COVID, I was invited to be on the books as a permanent employee, and I've loved every second of it. So why is that important to me? Well, there's two reasons. Three, actually. Let's do three. One, what I learn at Statewide Vision Resource Centre when I'm teaching children can directly translate to teaching adults in DATA Australasia. what I learn here in Data Australasia in teaching adults, I can take back to school on a Friday in the support skills program and deliver it to kids. Obviously, I changed my teaching methodologies because young learners are a little bit different from adults. But, stuff I learn in Data Australasia can come to Statewide. Stuff I learn in Statewide can go back to Data Australasia. It's very symbiotic. And before anyone asks, it's a conflict of interest. Well, no, it isn't. It would be if for some reason I started taking people away from Statewide, which I couldn't do because the support skills program, I'm a firm believer in it. It doesn't just teach tech. It teaches our children how to do cooking, how to do orientation and mobility, braille, music, and art. Oh, and of course, physical education, PE. So there's a lot more in the support skills program for kids to enjoy than I can offer just here on my own business. So that's why I do the tech part and my other colleagues do the bits that they're good at doing. And each child gets one tech session and there's other tech people there as well. So I'm not alone, which means I can bounce ideas off them. I can say to a colleague, I'm having trouble doing such and such. How does this work? And they often come to me. I'm always getting people coming to me saying, Lisa, do you know how to fix this? Yeah, sure. We'll have a go. So, and sometimes I get roped into other sessions. Sometimes I've got a free period, so I join another session. It's a really neat relationship. And as such, it's a great number two, it's a great networking opportunity because people I meet at Statewide Vision Resource Centre find out that I'm in my own business and children will come to me through the NDIS. There's a couple going at the moment and it's worked. I've even visited children at school to deliver through Data Australasia, people to deliver service to children that I've actually met in my job on a Friday at Statewide. So that works too. So it's a great networking opportunity as well because I get to meet other professionals. So it's great. Other parents, itinerant teachers, and everybody who's just in the business basically here in Melbourne. The third thing is that you often get invited to do stuff extra. One of which was what happened to me today. I was invited to become part of their Tech Expo. Now, I don't have to go to the Tech Expos. I go because I get to meet my vendors, such as people from Pacific Vision, people from Quantum, people from Humanware, people from Visitech, people from Nevada Access, people from other O&M services. So I get to meet colleagues, people who are in the business, and it's a great networking opportunity. And it was lovely that they asked me to present a stand for Data Australasia today, and I had a ball. It was great. The other thing is that you often get asked in to do extracurricular stuff, for example, PDs for visiting teachers. Either an afternoon session or a morning session here and there. And next year I'll be invited back to rerun the JAWS for Windows training course that I ran earlier this year in March. So they pay me for that. So it really works well both ways. It cuts both ways. They benefit from me being in my business and I benefit from my business benefits from me being an employee there. So that's my reflections on my relationship, my rather valuable and symbiotic relationship I have with the Statewide Vision Resource Centre. Thanks for watching, everybody. Merry Christmas, and I'll catch you in the next video.
To contact Elise, call 0448 966 533. A very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from everyone at Data Australasia.